Hello, one and all. Welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. I am here with this incredible artist for the very next guest, known as Amy Ryan Music. So I'm about to add Amy into the live now and have a chat with Amy about her incredible music. Only 13 years old and has incredible talent as an artist. So I'm about to add Amy into the live now and have a chat with Amy about her music. So yeah, let's add Amy in and have a chat with Amy. Hello, Amy. How's it going?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It is such an incredible pleasure having you on the show for today. I just want to
No
say,
worries.
to people that don't know who you are, if you can give back a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Amy Ryan. I'm 13 years old, and I'm a country kind of indie singer-songwriter. And this is like my fifth or sixth year. And it all started when I was about 8 years old, and I grew up traveling around Australia in that outback, and being in that amazing landscape of Australia and seeing the red dirt and those amazing animals and all the wildlife out there. And so uh, being around that environment, it really inspired me with my stories and how to write songs, especially listening to all those old country artists like Slim Dusty and Alan Jackson and all that stuff. So yeah.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Amy. So for my very first question, you have incredible original songs out already. And for the first original song I'm going to mention is a song called Sitting Pretty. What was it like creating this song, and what's the meaning behind Sitting Pretty?
So Sitting Pretty was so much fun to write. It was in the Songmaster, which is a songwriting like little thing that you do up in Gympie, and it's goes for about 4 days, and you do like an hour session of songwriting with amazing other artists, and there's a host of an experienced songwriter that's been doing it for a long time. And this one was with Jen Myers and lots of other artists. There's too many to count actually, but this one, it was such a fun song. It was the first time I was at the Songmaster, and it came up as a title. And if you're ever in these things, don't be scared to mention anything. You never know what's going to come out of it, so don't be shy to ever speak up and say anything. But so it's about being proud of yourself and just going through all those hard times and looking back down at yourself when you went through all those hard paths and you got all the scars, all the blisters, and you're just looking back at it and you think that was definitely worth it. And like you're just proud of yourself and don't ever lose faith with it. And this song, it's gone so well. Really proud of it, and especially for it to be my first song I ever released, and everyone loves it. I'm filled with so much joy and it's so amazing. So that's so cool.
So on to my very next question. So you've also created a song called Our Land, which is another incredible song of yours. What was it like creating this one, and what's the meaning behind Our Land?
So I came back from school one afternoon and I was thinking, I haven't written a song in such a long time. And that made me a bit sad because I love writing songs. And I thought, I have never written a song about well, actually written a full song completed about the land and what it's like for me to be able to travel around Australia and what it's like, especially as a 13-year-old, and I'll get to see it all. So that inspiration caught me from the land of Australia, and I went to Dad because he's a little bit of a poet, and
Okay.
he's great with this stuff. And I said, I've got this song idea, and I've got this little melody on my guitar, which is how I usually start my songs. It's I always start with the chords on the guitar and then I add the words. And I said I got this melody on my guitar and I think and I had some words too and I think these words are gonna match great with it. And so we sat down for about 2 days and we wrote this song and I thought this is an amazing song. Like I think this is gonna go somewhere. And I started performing at other places and I'm getting used to singing it and how what matched best, like how to sing it and what worked with it. And a lot of people said that they loved it, they really enjoyed it. And then I thought, so many people love this song, and I love it too. And so we went into the studio, and but before that, I put it into the TSA songwriters, and I won it for the songwriters with my dad. So that was super cool. And with that award, it came with the songwriters award, and to record it with Rob McCormack. I think that's his name. That's many people that I've met that I can't remember them. But yeah, and we sat down in the studio, and it was so much fun. And so to have that song recorded and released, and my EP to be titled with that title too, it's super cool. And that song has gone so far, and I'm super proud of it, and so is Dad. So yeah.
So on to my very next question. So you have also created an original song called Stories in My Blood. What was it like creating this song, and what's the meaning behind this song?
So this song was also written at the Songmaster, along with Sitting Pretty, actually probably the same day. But so this one, yeah, it's called Stories in My Blood. And this one, I came up with the idea with this one, and I thought I have some words, and it was about the history from your ancestors passed down to you, from the very beginning. And so I mentioned this to everyone, and I thought that is a really good song idea. And we spent a few hours just messing around with it, seeing where this song would go, and I found some chords, and it just really worked out really well. And so it was so much fun. And because there were about 5 other people that were in this group writing the song with me, there was so many other ideas, so many other like opinions about the song. So that I love co-writing with other people, because that's so amazing, because you get so many other views on the song and the song idea. So yeah, when we wrote this song, it was so much fun. And the Stories in My Blood, we've also released that one, and I recorded it with the same guy that I recorded with Al Land too. So that was super fun, and that it was amazing. So yeah.
So on to my very next question. So you have also created an original song called Heartstrings, another fantastic and inspiring song. What was it like creating this one, and what's the meaning behind Heartstrings?
Yeah, Heartstrings, it's I was at the CMAA Academy, Junior Academy. This was in 2021, and it was shocking because I wrote this song with Ashley Dallas, and I don't know if any of you guys have heard of her, but she's absolutely amazing, and she's so lovely, and she writes her songs about her life experiences and what happens, and her songwriting and her lyrics are absolutely amazing. So when I heard that I was co-writing with Ashley Dallas, I was like, oh my god, no way, this is actually happening. Like, we're gonna write a fabulous song. Like, I just know that we're gonna write a great song. And so when we sat down, I didn't really have that much experience in songwriting, or it was like I never even had written Sitting Pretty at that time, I don't think. So it was like it was really different to actually be sitting down with an amazing songwriter, and she's super experienced. And anyway, so when we sat down, I mentioned that I love my mother very much, and so does she. So we both related to that a lot, and it was a family song, and I mentioned all these great experiences that me and my mum had, and all of our amazing memories, and just about how grateful I am. And without her, I wouldn't be doing these interviews basically, or out doing my gigs and doing these amazing festivals, and she wouldn't be I wouldn't be doing all this music business, like behind the scenes. She's doing all the business stuff, so I'm really grateful for her. So when I wrote this song, it was just about saying how grateful, and I put it into lyric and rhyme basically. So when I recorded and released this song, and to have Ashley Dallas's name to be mentioned and known that I co-wrote it with her, it was such a good feeling. And to be starting releasing my songs with such good experienced people, it was like amazing, and I can't believe it was happening at the time, and I still can't believe it happens now. So that's amazing. I can't believe it.
So on to my very next question. So what made you decide as a person, and especially as an artist, to get into singing in the first place?
So as I mentioned before, I traveled around the world listening to all these country ballads and all these country stories and all these songs. And I sung along to them, obviously, because they're such good songs. And like listening to Sun Dusty, Lights on the Hill, all of that, I just sung along to them and tapped my fingers to the beat on the side of the door when I was bored. And so I mentioned to Dad that I'm like really interested in this. I think it's absolutely such a cool thing, and I want to be a part of it. And so he was not quite sure at the start about what it was, and I begged and begged and begged for years that I wanted a guitar, and I finally got one for Christmas by my granddad, and it's this bright pink guitar. And over the years, it was put to retirement basically, and now everyone that has helped me along the way signed that guitar. So now it's hanging up on the wall and it's almost full of space. So I got to try and find some new places for other people because I'm sure there's many more on the way. But yeah, so just hearing those really true singers and those songwriters like Casey Chambers, even hearing her amazing songs, just singing along in the car, looking out the window, and feeling a really deep connection in it, and growing around in that, I felt really connected.
So on to my very next question. So on to that question, following that. So like what does performing music like mean to you? Like when you're performing at gigs or whatever, what does performing music mean to you?
It means a lot, and especially if anyone comes along just to watch me at those gigs, that and support me, that is such a great feeling, and it's absolutely amazing. And when I'm singing and expressing my love basically to the audience or in my songs, it's amazing, and to hear feedback. A lot of people come up to me after when I finish my sets, and I'll say that was absolutely amazing song, and they say feedback and they're like, oh, you need a little bit work on your diction or anything. And so a lot of people have said these comments, and obviously I need them and I appreciate them coming up to me. And so over the years I've had a lot of comments and they've helped me along the way, even if they are rude, even if they're not, it has helped me a lot. And so just to be on that stage, even, it's a lot, and it like fills my heart with joy basically. And like going to Tamworth every year where I met you, and seeing and you coming up to me and saying I was great, and I really appreciate it. And so that's just what makes me want to keep going basically, and it's amazing.
So on to my very next question. So what's your favorite cover album to perform and why?
My cover album?
Yeah, like what's your favorite cover to perform?
That is a really, really difficult question. And I don't know. Oh, I don't know. My first song that I ever learned was a Christy Cox song.
Okay.
And the song is called That's Where the Faith Comes In. And so I went, she had a gig down in New South Wales, and I was about 8 years old at the time, and just me and Dad drove all the way from where I live, which is up in Queensland, down to New South Wales just to see this one concert on this one night and then drive back home the next day. And so we spoke to her after, and she was like, no way that you guys just came down all the way here just to hear me sing a few songs. And we were like, yeah, of course, you're an amazing artist. And so hearing her live, especially like hearing her on Spotify or on a CD, she's absolutely amazing, but her live is even better. And so I thought that was really cool. So after hearing her sing That's Where the Faith Comes In person, I was like, I really want to learn this song. And so the next day she was like, I have a gig up in Brisbane, so you can drive back with us basically, and you can go see me at this gig. I'll get you up on stage. And this was when I was 8 years old, and I had never been on stage before, and I had just learnt the words That's Where the Faith Comes In, and she invited me up on the stage to sing that song. And so Christy Cox means a lot to me, and I played in the Capitol Theatre with her this Tamworth recently, and I did do it last Tamworth too. And so she is a big artist that has helped me along the way. And so yeah, I think that would be probably one of my favorite songs that I sing. But other than that, it would be Blue Moon in Kentucky by Mil Monroe.
I love that. So on to my very next question. So if you could work with any top three music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why?
Just in Australia or around the world?
Around the world, in Australia, up to you.
I think this is not in order, but I think one of them would definitely be Chris Stapleton. He's an amazing singer-songwriter. And that would be definitely one. What else? Fanny Lobston, definitely. She's really cool. I love how she presents herself on stage. She's very entertaining, and her songs are really cool too. And my third one would be Dolly Parton. Definitely Dolly Parton. Dolly has been the probably one of the first singers performers I had ever heard ever since I was really young. And traveling on the road, I'd be like, "Mom, put on the Dolly Parton song," and her CD, and we'd sing Jolene 9 to 5, $2 down, constantly on replay. And yeah, so even singing to Dolly Parton, that got me into singing too. And yeah, so I think definitely writing a song with Dolly Parton, that would be the dream come true for me.
So on to my very next question. So if you could go anywhere on tour, like around the world, any country, any place, where would you want to take your music to and why?
I think Nashville, because Nashville in America, it's where bluegrass and the country music for me, I heard most about, and I heard really cool news. I know a lot of musos out in Nashville, and they've been really nice to me. And I got 2 scholarships over there just before COVID, but COVID completely wiped them out, and so I can't go over there anymore. So it's really sad. But hopefully some other time, not for the scholarships, but we'll just be able to go over there and connect and see all those other music festivals over there, because that would be really cool, especially to travel over to America and just see what it's like over there. Because I've only ever been to Austria and Australia, basically, so I want to travel around the world, and especially if it's related to music.
So
And
yes.
yes, sorry, keep going.
No, what were you gonna say?
Oh, Mum just walked in, just check if this is all good. So
I
I was
do
just
that,
yeah.
So on to my very next question for you. So like, if what would you give like with up and coming artists? Like, what advice would you give to upcoming artists that want to get into music? And yeah, what advice would you give them?
So a lot on this past year and this year, I have had a lot of young, like under 10 years old, little girls and boys come up to me and say, "I'm really inspired by you, and I want to do exactly what you're doing." And I think that is really cool. And I've supported them. There's this little girl called Belle Roman, I think her name is. You can check her out, I guess. And she's 8 years old, and I've supported her for the past year and a bit, and she's absolutely talented. And all I've said to her is, "Do not give up." Like when we were in town, she was there, and she was like, "I've just done busking for an hour. I'm super tired. I just want to give up." And I was like, "Don't give up. Don't give up. You've got a whole other week that you need to do, and even if you don't get any money in your busking in your case and in your guitar case." It's just even if people see you busking and see how you're still doing it and are doing it such a young age, and because she's amazing, people are always amazed, and so don't give up, even if so many people say that you're no good, and if you have all this bad feedback, don't ever stop what you're doing, especially if you love it, and yeah, just if you ever had negative thoughts, just rethink it and see if you love it or not. And if you do love it, just keep doing it.
So onto that. So like, what advice would you give to your younger 8-year-old self if you could talk to your younger 8-year-old self? Like looking back over your career, what advice would you give to yourself?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I've never thought of that before. Um, back when back about last year, I was really like down. COVID had started, and music had completely stopped, and it was like a really sad, basically depressing time, and because music had completely drifted away from me. So at that time I wasn't 8, but I was really down, and mum and dad just said don't stop, and so I didn't stop. But when I was 8 and I started, especially with my singing and guitar lessons, it was really different because I grew up doing sports and gymnastics, so and doing touch football. That was what I actually did admire when I was really, really young. And then I got into music and I thought this is really different. And I kind of was really clueless in what I needed to do. And so, yeah, I had no idea what I was doing, and I was self-doubting myself. And I was just thinking, maybe this is not for me. I'm not doing the right thing. And but now that I look back at it, I'm just thinking, why would you even think about that way? And like, luckily you didn't stop, because look at what you're doing now. Like, I'm doing interviews with people now, and it's amazing. And so yeah, like I've been saying, like, self-doubt is not a great thing. Like, yeah.
So on to my very next question. So what are like the positive and negatives into the music industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
Yeah, a few negative things that I've had is people at school and not being nice to me about my music. And music can be really overwhelming, going from gigs to gigs, and you can't just upload your songs to Spotify, and you can't just record songs. You've got to figure out the time, the schedule for the people that work with you, and you've just got to be really flexible about what other people want to. And yeah, so people at school, I was going through a hard time, and I just wanted to be distant from other people for a while. So I stopped talking and texting to people for a few months or so, and then other people were thinking, "Oh, Amy's too famous to even talk about us. She's just full of herself." And I've just recently heard that that's what people thought about me, and for people to think such a bad thing about me, I did not like that, and I was really shocked about it. But a lot of people do give you hate, and it's not a good thing. And but yeah, a lot of people are really nice too, and I'm super grateful for that. But a lot of another negative thing about music is like Spotify and YouTube Music. They do not pay artists very well at all, sadly. And like, you got to pay lots of money to put on your songs onto Spotify, and you never really get that much profit back. So that's not very good. But I have had a lot of listeners over the years that have listened to my songs, and it's really amazing. So I'm really grateful for that.
Well, on to my very last question. So like what's next for you for the rest of 2023 onwards? Like what's next?
What's next? I do have lots of festivals coming up. I've got Capella, the Chad Morgan one last year. I was in that, and I won the Chad Morgan talent for that. So that was lots of fun. And yeah, so over the past year, especially going to the other festivals, I've made so many connections. And that's another thing. If you ever pick up a gig, or anyone, even if you're doing karaoke and someone says you're a good singer, you should go up. Definitely do it. And I've learnt that there's been a few times that I didn't want to do some of these music things, and then Dad said, you got to do it because you never know who's in the audience, and that is a true thing. And I went to this is a story. I went to the pedal steel. I forgot the name of it, but it's some pedal steel thing in Australia, and I went there, and I wasn't very keen about it. But then I went there and found out that in the audience I was singing a Dolly Parton song, and it was Jolene. And in the audience was a man that was looking into starting a Dolly Parton festival in Narromine. And so last year it was the first time they finally started it. They finally got it up and running, and it was a Dolly Parton Narromine festival, and it was the first one, and it was super cool that I was a part of the first one. And now they've invited me back for this year. So that's one of the festivals. Go check that out and support them. It's going to be lots of fun. And yeah, that festival was amazing last year. So it's going to be even better this year. So definitely recommend.
Well, I would love to ask, by the way, I'm going to throw you off the spot here for a bit. So, would you like to perform one of your songs on the show if you have time?
Right now?
If you have time, yeah.
Oh, sure. I've got my guitar right here. I don't know if I need a tuner though. I haven't played this one. This is a guitar that I got gifted.
Okay.
It's a beauty. And so this is a guitar that has just been sitting in my room for practicing. But what's a song that I should sing? Should I sing one of my ones?
It's up to you.
Okay. I think I'll do Diamantina Dreaming. So this is a song that it was like the second song that I had ever written, and it was Dad grew up basically. So this song is about how Dad grew up his whole life wanting to travel around Australia, which he already did, but he always wanted to go this one place, and it was called the Diamantina in Queensland. And so he finally went with me and my family, and it was such an amazing time. besides all of the flies were there, that was really annoying. That was super annoying. I had to wear all these fly masks and everything. But that place is absolutely amazing. Like every single time, we can't wait to go back there. It's such an amazing, like you wake up and you see this amazing view of the land, and you can hear the morning birds, and so it was a magical place. And so when we came back home, Dad had this idea of writing a poem about what it was like there. And so he wrote it, and I thought this is really amazing. And because I had discovered songwriting, I thought I'm gonna pick up my guitar and I'm gonna put some chords to it. And so it's been like 5 years since I wrote that song, and I'm still singing it. And I've got an under 18 female vocalist in the Brumbies Award, so it's super cool. So this one's called Diamantina Dreaming. Red and birds and species, people ends. Travel there in springtime to build a lifelong. Marvel in its world, so beautiful to see. Landscape big and vast, places not a tree. Half a million names declared moral song. Migrations where the gold even place of birth. Diamantina tree, wishes in my mind, from ocean to the embrace all that I found. Diamantina tree, magic in my mind, mystique of the hour, this is almost. Onto the social dawn, through the shades of treasures of which kept flies more than a few. Dangerous thing, spend I one face of I just go I'm losing my voice. Keep treating let us slip away. A special mistake for facing Diamantina tree, wishes in from ocean to the it's all that I find. Diamantina tree, let's make mistake yeah, back places on this.
Awesome. Yes,
Oh,
Amy,
thank you.
killed it. You killed it. You killed it, as
Thank
always.
you so much. I'm sorry, I kind of lost my voice
No,
halfway through
you're
that.
all good. You're all good. So I just want to say thank you so much for appearing again on my show. It has been
No
such an
worries.
incredible pleasure having you on. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to share to people on the show?
I think, well, I have a website, and so it's under Amy Ryan Music, and my name's spelled AMY, and I have Spotify. I'm all on that. I have YouTube with music videos and all that, and they were shot out in Birdsville. Sorry. And yeah, and I have Instagram and Facebook, and you can follow me on that and support me along my journey and see what else I'm doing. And yeah, I really appreciate you and joining me up on this this thing, and I really appreciate it. And thank you so much.